Good evening and welcome to Grandma's Attic Music Review. I'm sorry to start laughing like that, but sometimes these shows are just silly. You don't know the people that I have to look at when I'm doing this. How are you tonight? Did you have a great January? Tonight's musician, I'm sure some of you know, and those of you that don't know him or haven't heard of him will know him by the end of this show. He's amazing. He's been around the world, across the nation. He's played with some of folk music's best players. I'm going to let him tell those stories to you. And I consider him a friend, and that's a real blessing to me. So give a warm welcome and a hearty listen to Geoff Kaufman.
The January man walks down the road in woolen coat and boots of leather. The February man still shakes the snow from off his hair and blows his hands. The man of March, he sees the spring and wonders what the year will bring and hopes for better weather. Through April rains, the man goes down to watch the birds come in to share the summer. The man of May stands very still to watch the children dance away the day. In June, the man within the man is young and wants to lend a hand and hopes for better weather. And in July, the man in cotton shirt, he sits and thinks on being idle. The August man in thousands takes the road to find the sun and watch the sea. September man is standing near to saddle up and feed the year, and autumn is his bridle. The man of New October takes the reins, and early frost is on his shoulder. The poor November man sees fire and wind and mist and rain and winter gale. December man looks through the snow to let 11 brothers know they're all a little older. The January man comes round again in woolen coat and boots of leather to take another turn to walk along the icy road he knows so well. The January man is here, the start and each and every year, along the road forever. So that song is obviously enough called The January Man. And I happen to love it because I'm born in January. And so when I first heard that song, I always thought, well, geez, make that a theme song of mine for at least when I'm coming around to my birthday every year. Dave Goulder from Scotland is the author of that song, and he's written some wonderful, wonderful stuff, and I think I'm going to do another one of his in a minute or two. One of his best friends from this side of the pond is Gordon Bach, and they sort of communicated in terms of the sense of the seasons in some ways. And so here's a song that Gordon Bach wrote many years ago when he got a letter from a friend up in Maine. He lives in Camden, Maine. And he got a letter from a woman who was having a very hard time. And so he wrote this song as sort of an attempt to give her a feeling that, the winter comes and the winter goes, and the world is always turning toward the morning. When the deer has bedded down, bear has gone to ground, and the northern goose has wandered off to warmer baying sound. It's so easy in the cold to feel the darkness of the year, and your heart is growing lonely for the morning. Oh, my Joni, don't you know, stars are swinging slow, seas are rolling easy as they did so long ago. If I had a thing to give you, I'd tell you one more time that the world is always turning toward the morning. Yes, October's growing thin and November's coming home. You'll be thinking of the seasons and the sad things that you've seen, and you'll hear that old wind walking, hear him calling high and thin, and you swear he's out there singing of your sorrow. Oh, my Joni, don't you know, stars are swinging slow, seas are rolling easy as they did so long ago. And if I had a thing to give you, I'd tell you one more time that the world is always turning toward the morning. When that darkness falls around you, when that old wind comes to call, you can hear him call your name out as he walks the brittle snow. But that old wind don't mean you trouble, he don't care or even know, he's just walking down the darkness toward the morning. Oh, my Joni, don't you know, stars are swinging slow, seas are rolling easy as they did so long ago. If I had a thing to give you, I'd tell you one more time that the world is always turning toward the morning. Now it's a pity we don't know what the little flowers know. They can't take the cold November, they can't take the wind and snow. They put their glories all behind them, bow their heads and let it go. But you know they'll be there shining in the morning. Oh, my Joni, don't you know, stars are swinging slow, seas are rolling easy as they did so long ago. And if I had a thing to give you, I'd tell you one more time that the world is always turning toward the morning. Oh, my Joni, don't you know that the days are rolling slow and that winter's a walking easy as he did so long ago. If that wind should come and ask you, why is my Joni weeping so, won't you tell him that you're weeping for the morning? Oh, my Joni, don't you know, stars are swinging slow, seas are rolling easy as they did so long ago. And if I had a thing to give you, I'd tell you one more time that the world is always turning toward the morning. So that's from Gordon Bach, who was one of my inspirations to become a folk singer. Way back when I was in college, I was a sophomore in Middlebury College, and my roommate was doing a folk show at the time. He called me up one night and said, "You have to hear this song." And it was Gordon Bach's Bay of Fundy. And I was so enthralled by that song that, now, if any of you have heard Gordon Bach, he sings in a bass baritone range that I can never get to. So as a tenor, it took me a while to get up the courage to sing a Gordon Bach song, but I did eventually learn Turning Toward the Morning and a bunch of other songs from Gordon, who continues to be an inspiration for me. Let's see. Oh, well, I mentioned that Dave Goulder had another song that I'd like to do. You know, this town in New London is doing quite a job to help the homeless. And so there are some songs that particularly pertain to that whole idea. And this one from Dave Goulder certainly captures that spirit. As I walked out one Monday morn, wild birds for to see, I met a man along the road and asked for charity. I met a man along the road and asked for charity. Come home with me and take your fill, and comfort you will find. And tell me why you take the road that leaves the hills behind. Oh, tell me why you take the road that leaves the hills behind. Oh, time has spent the summer, sir, soon the leaves will fall. I hear the change within the wind that plays around your wall. I hear the sound change within the wind that plays around your wall. The bird must flee the winter, sir, she cannot stay behind to build her nest upon the snow, nor can I look for mine to build her nest upon the snow, nor can I look for mine. But if I could have 100 homes and stay in each a while, I'd build them all along the coast, from Sandwood down to Kyle. I'd build them all along the coast, from Sandwood down to Kyle. One Monday morn as I walked out, wild birds for to see, I met a man along the road and asked for charity. I met a man along the road and asked for charity. So Dave Goulder has some awfully good stuff. Well, gee whiz, I like love songs too. So here's one that I actually sang at the reception of my own wedding, and I've sung it at a bunch of other weddings along the way. And it is simply called Give Yourself to Love. Give yourself to love if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Friends all gathered round, there's something I would say. What has brought us gathered here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle to hold us all inside, where strangers are as family and loneliness can't hide. You must give yourself to love if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. I've walked these mountains in the rain. I've learned to love the wind. Been up before the sunrise to watch the day begin. Always knew I'd find you, but I never did know how. But like sunshine on a cloudy day, you stand before me now. You must give yourself to love if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Love is born of fire, it's planted like a seed. Love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. Love comes when you are ready, love comes when you're afraid. It will be your finest teacher, the best friend that you have made. And you must give yourself to love if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. You must give yourself to love if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Well, thank you. Let me do another love song. Oh, that last one was from Kate Wolf, who certainly penned some of the most beautiful songs of our generation of singer-songwriters. And this next one came from Barbara Keith, who looked at that old ballad about Barbary Allen, which is a pretty terrible story, you know. Barbary Allen denies love to a young man. He dies from that. And then she says, oh my God, what did I do? And so she dies in sympathy. And they get buried side by side. And out of one of these graves grows a rose, and out of the other, well, I'm not sure which is the rose and which is the bramble, but anyway, these two plants grow out of their two graves and they intertwine as they climb. And Barbara Keith thought, well, that's a great story. Let's upgrade it, update it a little bit here. So she turned it into The Bramble and the Rose. We have been so close together, each a candle, each a flame, and the dangers were outside us, and we knew each one by name. See how the bramble and the rose intertwine. Love grows like the bramble and the rose. Round each other we will twine. Now I've hurt you and it hurts me, just to see what we can do to ourselves and to each other without really meaning to. See how the bramble and the rose intertwine. Love grows like the bramble and the rose. Round each other we will twine. So now put your arms around me, and we'll sing a true love song, and we'll learn to sing together, sing and laugh the whole night long. See how the bramble and the rose intertwine. Love grows like the bramble and the rose. Round each other we will twine. See how the bramble and the rose intertwine. Love grows like the bramble and the rose. Round each other we will twine. Round each other we will twine. Thank you. Well, let's see. Thinking about Pete Seeger, who passed away last year and left us a lot of wonderful songs. He kind of taught us a bunch of songs that other people had written, and then he wrote some wonderful ones himself. And one of those is this one. I knew something was out there. So I actually normally do this as a medley. Well, maybe I'll do it as the medley. Because I love this other song too, and we'll. So this is from my days of working with the Hudson River sloop Clearwater, and a fellow by the name of Robert Killian down in New Jersey wrote this song, and then I kind of like to do it as a medley with that Pete song, which is "Oh, Had I a Golden Thread." So this is "There'll Come a Day." There'll come a day when the rivers will run again, pure on their way. There'll come a time when everyone, everywhere will stand up and say, let the light shine out upon the land, and the love flow out from everyone, and the way will break upon the darkness of the storm. There'll come a day, there'll come a day, there'll come a day when these strong, well, I better remember this verse. There'll come a day when the hunger in the youngest eyes will no longer stay. There'll come a time when the wheels of war will evermore stand in decay, and the light shine out upon the land, and the love flow out from everyone, and the way will break upon the darkness of the storm. There'll come a day, there'll come a day, there'll come a day when the strong will no longer make the weaker ones pay. There'll come a time when justice and truth will rule all we will say, and the light shine out upon the land, and the love flow out from everyone, and the way will break upon the darkness of the storm. There'll come a day, 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 there'll come a day. There'll come a day. Oh, had I a golden thread and needle so fine, oh, I would weave a magic strand of a rainbow design, of rainbow design, and in it I would weave the bravery of women giving birth, and in it I would weave the innocence of children of all the earth, children of all the earth, and show my brothers and sisters my rainbow design, and I would bind up this sorry world with hand and heart and mind, hand and heart and mind. Ooh, had I a golden thread and needle so fine, I would weave a magic strand of rainbow design, of rainbow design.
So should I do one more or what?
Sure. Or
No.
2 or 3. It's up to you. You're the musician.
Well, first I want to get this guitar in tune, which had decided to get
You know
very
this is the
squirrely.
most famous song ever played. It played by every band
What?
all the time. The one you're playing right now.
Oh, tuning. The Chinese tune, right? All right. Well, I started off with some seasonal stuff, and let's take one song that takes us all around all of the seasons. Starts in the summer and goes through the fall and winter and back to spring, and we can look forward to a lovely spring. The song comes from Bob Dyer from out Missouri way, and it's called On a Day Like Today.
Well, on a day like today, in the heat of this late summer weather, there's a haze in the trees and the sound of the bees in the clover. There's a hawk in the air and a gleam on the wide river's waters, and I feel deep inside something wanting to stay here forever. But the seasons keep changing, and the days just keep running away, and forever's a gift you're forever giving away. On a day like today, in the last golden days of October, there's a chill in the air and a slight haze of frost on the clover. There's a fire in the trees and a sound on the breeze like a whisper, and I feel deep inside something wanting to stay here forever. But the seasons keep changing, and the days just keep running away. Forever's a gift you're forever giving away. On a day like today, in the heart of a long, bitter winter, with the light of the moon making stars on the snow in the clover, I sit down by the fire in the warmth of its slow dying embers, and I feel deep inside something wanting to stay here forever. But the seasons keep changing, and the days just keep running away, and forever's a gift you're forever giving away. It's a warm day in spring, and the dew on the jewelweed still glistens, and I almost can hear new life being born as I listen. I walk down to the spring and I drink from its pure crystal waters. I feel deep inside something wanting to stay here forever. But the seasons keep changing, and the days just keep running away, and forever's a gift you're forever just keep running away. And forever's a gift you're forever giving
Nice.
Well, for general principles, I'll do one.
And
more
then come
short
sit with me and we'll talk about all kinds of wonderful things.
This comes from Tom Paxton from many years ago when he went to Northern Ireland and just to see if there was anything that he might contribute to trying to bring people together. And he came up with the simplest song of peace I know. Peace will come. Let it begin with me. We need peace. Let it begin with me. Oh, my own life is all I can hope to control. Oh, let my life be lived for the good of my soul. Let it bring peace, sweet peace. Peace will come. Let it begin with me. If you out there want to sing along, we'll do it again. Peace will come. Let it begin with me. We need peace. Let it begin with me. Oh, my own life is all I can hope to control. Oh, let my life be lived for the good of my soul. Let it bring peace, sweet peace. Peace will come. Let it begin with me. Peace will come. Let it begin with me.
Awesome. So Geoff Kaufman with us is just a way to feel very serene and very, oh, this is Jabez, for those of you that haven't met Jabez. And he's keeping me warm right now. I'm freezing. I'm never cold in here, but I'm cold today. So he's keeping me warm. Geoff, welcome to Grandma's Attic. It's so nice to have you here. You just bring serenity everywhere you go. I don't know if other people feel that from you, but I certainly do. Where do you find your songs?
Well, I just, over lots and lots of years, I've been keeping my ears open. And the fact is, I've tried to write songs, and they don't come easily to me. There are other people that produce lots and lots of songs, but it's not something that's happened with me. But what has happened with me is that I just have sort of an acute hearing, listening mechanism out there for the songs that I will want to sing at some point. Mm-hmm. And then you find a song that appeals to you, that piques your interest and so on, and you make it your own. You sing it long enough, you kind of take it in and mull on it for a while, and it comes out as something that is coming from you.
Now, if you were to define true folk music, What folk artists would you put into that besides Pete Seeger? I know that Pete Seeger goes in that group. Some of the artists that are out there today are calling themselves folk artists, and well, I'm not real sure that they are, but what do you define as a folk artist?
Well, I mean, that's coming from my perspective.
Exactly. That's why you're here, because your perspective's important.
Well, but what I'm thinking of is the fact that I work with a lot of traditional music. A big part of my repertoire is traditional. That's the real folk stuff. So everything that's been written from, and my favorite writers like Gordon Bach or Steve Gillette or some other, singer-songwriters, really aren't, defining folk today is a really tough thing.
I agree.
But I think that what I look for are songs that have some outward-looking content, that are focused on the world and how people are interacting in that world, and that the song offers some little clue as to how there might be a way of making that work better, or how it works well within a song. That's the kind of, those are the songs that I look for that get my interest.
Songs of humanism and companions and friendship and making the world a better place. Speaking of that, we have a show coming up with Friday Night Folk on the 27th of February.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about that and why we're having that particular show.
Well, we did last year a tribute to Pete's passing.
Yep.
And there have been lots of wonderful tribute concerts all over for him. But what Pete did was to not only write he didn't do a lot of writing, but he wrote some wonderful songs.
Yes, he did.
And he gave tunes. He created some amazing songs like Turn, 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 giving a melody to Ecclesiastes text. But he also brought a lot of songs to the attention of a larger public that would be readily singable, and he was all into having people sing along.
He definitely was a sing-along kind of guy.
And he could get everybody singing. I mean, even at the end of his life, when his voice was hardly functioning, he'd get the audience to do all the singing. I mean, he'd just start the song and prompt people enough to get it done. In any case, he is enough of an inspiration that we wanted to do another tribute show. So we're putting together a roster of people that want to sing some of his songs and do that again. And so 27th of February at All Souls, 19 J Street. We will do that again, and last year it was probably the largest crowd that ever got into Unity Hall. So we're hoping that we'll get a lot of people to come out again and
but aren't we doing it for
Save
the Hills.
Save the river, save the hills. Absolutely. It is a fundraiser.
Exactly.
So very much in the Pete Seeger vein, coming out of his Clearwater efforts.
Exactly.
We're giving the money to an environmental effort to save some open space down on the
Oswegatchie Hills.
Yep.
And that's a real serious problem, land-wise and animal-wise, too. Animal preservation is really at stake in that situation. So, not that I love animals or anything. So, I have a question for you that I've never asked another musician. Never. One of my favorite all-time songs from when I was a little girl is Puff the Magic Dragon. And I truly consider Peter, Paul, and Mary folk singers because that's what I was introduced to them as when I was a little girl. But they didn't write that song, did they? And do you ever do that song? That was a bunch of questions, I guess.
I have done that song. I'm not sure that I have it enough in my head at the moment to do it now. If that was where you were leading.
No, it wasn't actually, but you could go out and relearn it for me someday.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. it's a pretty cool song. I
It's
mean,
a very cool
there are
song.
lots of considerations about interpreting the song, but
Yep.
well, so Peter didn't have a hand in writing that song?
I thought that I had heard a rumor that they didn't write that, but I don't know. I'm not very bright when it comes to things like that. I just know that the song is probably in my top 5 best songs ever, and my interpretation of it is exactly what it is. That a little boy has its playthings, and then they grow up, and they forget about fantasy, and they forget about being little boys. I think little girls do it too, but yeah. So when you're listening, because you don't look, you listen for a song. You listen for humanity, and you sing a beautiful love song. You can put that on a CD anytime you want, that love song, and I'll play it like all the time. I love that song. It's absolutely beautiful. Do you hear in your head the way that you're going to rearrange it when you hear it? Or does that come with after you take it and play it through, and then you hear how you'd like to have it, how you'd like to play it?
Yeah, I think it's always a you're hearing the original version from someone, and you know you're not going to be doing it that way. So it takes some time. There's a process of internalizing the song, and then and you know if you're going to do a guitar thing with it, then you need to figure out where you're doing that and how. But it takes a little while. Sometimes it's pretty quick, and sometimes it takes a lot longer. I don't know.
It's a process.
Yeah, it's a process. Yeah.
So you're involved with some other things besides being one of the greatest folk singers in the area. You're involved with the Mystic, help me here.
Seaport.
Yep. And you do things over there. And I've seen you in front of small audiences and in front of very large audiences. And you like to get them singing too. Do you think that that's a gift of the artist to get folks to sing along? Or do you think it's just everybody's innate need to sing?
Well, I would like to suggest that everybody should do more singing. I think it's a healthy thing.
I agree.
Number one, I mean, it's just for the body itself. It's a good thing to breathe deeply and to vocalize. And in fact, the vibrations that you create in vocalizing, I think, are very important. There's now a suggestion that the earliest form of human communication was tonally directed. It was really music rather than spoken word, just spoken straight.
Right.
So I think that there's a wonderful element of that. I love to encourage people to join in, but I think it's not such a common thing these days. There are lots and lots of songs coming out of singer-songwriters today that don't really lend themselves to joining in on the chorus. But I do lean toward that kind of material myself.
Yeah, I do. I saw that happen when we had passed the guitar. I don't know, did you come to that show? You came to that show.
Yeah, I played at that show.
Yeah. Well, it was a long night.
It was.
It was a long night. And I saw that happen with our youngest performer. And he got up and he was like, well, everybody's doing sad songs. Should I do this song or this song? And the audience told him what to do, and he did it, and everybody joined in singing. And I think he does that naturally, because when he gets on stage, a lot of people like to sing with him. Even when he's singing his own stuff, they catch on real quick. So I think it's kind of an inborn thing. Pete Seeger had it, you had it. I think that Arlo Guthrie has it and wants people to sing with him. I don't think he likes to sing as much as he likes to tell stories. But
That's true.
where do you see yourself with your music and things in 5 years?
Well,
More traveling or less traveling?
more traveling if I can put together. I've got this program that I need to get all the official permissions to really get out there, but
Okay.
called Natural Reflections. And I mean, coming out of my Clearwater days and working with and singing with Pete Seeger, I have very strong concerns about the environmental situation that we're in worldwide.
It's a mess.
And I think that if I can do anything to contribute to raise the awareness of where we're at and what needs to happen, I would like to do that. And so I have, in fact, created a program that's readings from nature writers and songs that I do. And now I'm going through the process of getting all of those readings approved of. I mean, it's a paragraph here and a paragraph there, but I need to go to
legal,
make sure that all of that's set. Once that's in place, I want to get that performance out and travel it as much as I can.
Well, good.
So,
I hope that I can help you with that a little bit.
Yeah.
And we'll record it too, and that way you could do it here. Is it within? Can we fit it into an hour?
It's actually a 2-hour.
Well, we'll have to do two shows
Two
then.
set production, so we could do the first act and the second act.
That would
we
be
could
wonderful.
talk about it. Yeah.
That would be much fun.
That's my leaning. Now, you know, I'm still working at Mystic Seaport at this point and running C Music programs there. How long I'll keep doing that is a good question. If other people can come along and take over some of those responsibilities, I'd probably be happy to have that happen.
Do you see someone sitting in the
wings? No.
Wings to do that?
Not exactly.
That's
I
too
do
bad.
have someone who's helping me with the C Music Festival, which is very important, who could take over the lion's share of running that, and that would be a big shift and probably a good one for me to move in a different direction.
Nice. I don't see your music going away anytime soon, so I think it's great that you have maybe a little apprentice somewhere doing fun things. I like to listen to your music to just listen. Do you consider yourself more of a performer that people listen to or a performer that people want to sit and reflect on? Like, do you think that your CDs are sat and listened to, or do you think that people more enjoy coming and seeing you live?
Well, that's a good question. I basically do like the idea of people reflecting on what it is that I'm singing. I mean, I definitely am someone who wants people to be paying attention to the lyrics. I choose songs for their lyrics, for either the story or the context that it's presenting. And so, in fact, I've created with Lyman Allen Art Museum. We're starting a program, occasional coffee house concert sort of thing in their library that we're calling the Listening Room at Lyman Allen.
Nice.
And
I had not heard anything about that.
Yeah, well, it's just getting started.
Let's talk more about that.
Yeah, I think on March we're going to try different nights of the week, but in March, I believe March 8th, the first Wednesday of the month. No, it would be the second Wednesday.
Okay.
But we'll be doing that. And that one, I'm entitling that one Touchstones, which is based on, I have an album by that title.
Yes, you do. I was just going to say, you have a record by that.
But essentially, songs that are of particular importance to me. And in that context, in that setting, I'll be prepared to explain. I mean, I do a lot of that anyway.
Yeah, you do.
Basically, I like to put songs in context and tell where they came from and how they got written, or what's the point? What's the point of this song?
What's the point of this song?
So that's what I want to do in that setting. And so it's been a while since I've been singing in a bar or someplace.
Yeah, I was just going to say, bars don't lend themselves to you per se. There's a couple of other local musicians that when they play in a band, they're totally into the whole bar thing. But when they play by themselves, they want people to listen to them. And there's songwriters that write, like you sing, important, not just ecological things, but things about feelings and human relationships, and not always the love relationships, but I don't know, criminal stuff and weird stuff and, things like that.
But things that you have to pay attention to.
Yes, exactly.
And because there's a story in the song.
Right.
So there's a ballad tradition that's being carried on by writers like that. That's important.
It's very important. Yeah. So I hope that you keep doing what you're doing. Come back and we'll do that show. We'll plan it out so that we can do the 2-hour thing. Mm-hmm. And then we'll tell everyone we're going to do a special 2-hour Grandma's Attic. And that will be fun. I hope to see you on the 27th. I think that you're going to run that show.
Yeah, I think I am.
I think you're going to MC it. I think you're going to... I can't wait to let everybody know who's going to be performing.
We're just gathering the troops. But
yeah, that's going to be a great night. So on the 27th of February, you can come to a Pete Seeger tribute for Save the River, Save the Hills. That's who the money's going to go to. And last year we packed the house, and we would like to do that again. So you can go to FridayNightFolk.org to find out more about that and grab tickets. And if you need more information about that, you can get a hold of me on Facebook. So Geoff, would you take us out with a song?
Sure.
Thank you so much for coming. It's always a joy to have you on my show.
It's great to be here again.
Thank you. Just a quick, here you go. Shop local. Keep your money local. Keep your music local. Go to every concert you get a chance to. Go to the galleries, support local art, mom and pop shops, local stores, the Eyeglass Lass. Check your glasses out there. I mean, really. I mean, I'm not advertising for her, but for real, she's awesome. Go to a local store and check it out. Not Walmart, I'm not going to even say it, but shop local, shop small. Keep your money in your pocket by keeping it in the neighborhood. And now, I'll see you next week. God bless, bye-bye, and Geoff's going to take us out.
A song from Adrienne Jones, who was a part of a wonderful women's trio called Mad Woman in the Attic. I always thought that was the best girl band name I ever heard. I dream of sevens. I better get this right. I dream of 7 days, a clockless host of hours, with their resilient ways of juvenescent powers. I dream of 7 seas, countless host of fishes, and on the fins of these I dream of 7 wishes. One is for peace on the sky, one is for peace on earth. 2 are the twin drums of your heartbeat, 2 are forever and ever, and 1 is for what it's worth. I dream of 7 stars, bright enough to guide some bold and brigand ship to harbors far and wide. I dream of 7 birds that dive and swim for fishes, and on the wings of these I offer 7 wishes. 1 is for peace on the sky, 1 is for peace on earth. 2 are the twin drums of your heartbeat, 2 are forever and ever, and 1 is for what it's worth.